are three vectors that we believe drive Tesla into a trillion-dollar company: building the machine that builds the machine, AI, and harnessing the power of the sun. Today, we want to talk about the sun, harnessing the power of the sun. It's July 16, 2020. This is the Not Even Wrong podcast. This is Krim Delko. Since the last update, July 15th, we're up 1%, and the market is roughly flat. So we have outperformed the market this year by 131%. We are up 130%. The market is down 1%. And the main driver has been Tesla. Now, let's talk about the vectors, and we're going to focus on the harnessing of the power of the sun. So the three vectors, as I said, that are absolutely crucial for the success of Tesla: AI, machine that builds the machine, and harnessing the power of the sun. Now, what do I mean with harnessing the power of the sun? Well, there's two ways to think about this: an easy way and a more complicated way. The easy way is simply you build solar panels all over the world, you harness the power of the sun, and then you somehow use those electrons to power whatever else you need to power. This is roughly what Elon Musk is trying to do. The name Tesla, chosen for the company, is, in my view, driven not necessarily by the fact that there is an electric motor in the car, which goes back to Nikola Tesla, but Tesla's dream to harness the power of the sun and make electricity available for free for the whole world. This has been a struggle between Nikola Tesla and J.P. Morgan, Thomas Edison, kind of that duo. Tesla, and this is anecdotal, I haven't gone back and checked the facts, but given what I've read, given what I've seen on documentaries and things like that, I'm pretty confident that Nikola Tesla has been in a struggle with Thomas Edison and his backer, J.P. Morgan, to make electricity available for everybody for free or very, very low cost. The dream was you take a photon, you knock out the electron in a piece of silicon, and that way you can harness that electron, which is another form of energy that you're getting directly from the sun. This is what we're doing today with photovoltaic cells, and that dream was alive 100 years ago. Thomas Edison didn't like that dream because he had a different idea. He had an idea of building power stations all over the world and selling electricity for money. And that's where General Electric came from, and a whole industry of electricity providers that we know today. Anyway, I don't want to go back into the history now. It is what it is. But I think Elon Musk and his friends, J.B. Straubel, and the founders of Tesla Motors back then, and what became Tesla today, they had that same dream. They're not saying it necessarily, but it's just becoming more and more obvious. Tesla is an energy company. Tesla is not even an energy company. Tesla is a harnessing the power of the sun company. And let me digress a little bit. We always talk about disruption here in the Not Even Wrong podcast. The purpose of Orange Capital Partners is to invest in technologically driven disruption with social impact and generate wealth through doing that. And we often talk about disruption, and we've obviously made it a key point in how do we get better at what we do? Well, by spotting disruption. One thing that we haven't spoken about is that no matter how disruptive you are, you have to find a way to leverage some sort of law of nature or something which is almost like natural, available in abundance. What I mean with that is, for example, Amazon has been able to generate $1 trillion market caps because it has been able to leverage the internet. Microsoft has been able to leverage the unbelievable innovation in microprocessors. The mother of all leverages is the sun. If you can leverage the power of the sun and channel that energy into useful energy on Earth that people can use, we believe you can create enormous amounts of value and therefore be very successful also as a company in the stock market. And this is exactly what Tesla, in our view, is about to do. If you just look at what they do, forget about what they say. Tesla is a car company. Tesla makes fancy cars, and that's true. My son had joy in his eyes when he saw our Tesla. And kids around the world love the design. People love it. They love to drive the car. This is a consumer product. I get it. But in the essence, Tesla is about to harness the power of the sun. This is really what they're trying to do. And you can see it. They're making batteries. They're making megapacks. They're trying to get rid of coal power plants. They're building situations where we can use other renewable power that is then, through batteries, harnessable in a much more efficient way. I think the key here is that the intentions of Tesla are not just to displace car companies. They are to harness the power of the sun and give the world a much better way to access energy that comes from the sun. We've been doing this before Tesla by taking fossil fuels, burning fossil fuels. And the reason we've been doing this is because we have not found any other medium that has been able to store the energy of the sun in a more efficient way than fossil fuels. It took millions, hundreds of millions of years for fossil fuels to store that kind of energy, and we're burning that and we're creating all that CO2, and we all know the problems with that. So what Elon Musk is proposing is find a direct way to harness the power of the sun and store it in a more efficient way. In the beginning, we're doing this now with lithium-ion batteries, and I'm sure we're going to go to much different levels of storage and usage of that energy that we probably even don't know right now what's in the books. But my point is the direct use of the power of the sun for transportation, for other types of usage, such as heating your home, driving factories, those kinds of applications, airplanes potentially. So transport again, but more importantly, any kind of high level energy usage can be more directly linked to the energy of the sun instead of going through the intermediaries of fossil fuels. This is, in our view, one of the main vectors that Tesla is driving on. And we therefore believe that by following that trace and making sure that we're not remote from that thesis, that we're basically not just dreaming, but that the company is actually developing technologies, strategies, products, and services which are going into that direction. By following that trace, we are giving ourselves a lot more margin of error, or another way to say is we're giving ourselves a lot more mouth around our thesis. So we're more confident that we will be able to succeed by generating wealth in investing in Tesla. Now, what are the obstacles for that? This sounds very easy. You want to harness the power of the sun. I mean, it's not the first time that somebody's trying to do that. And there's a couple of obstacles. I mean, number one, of course, is the incumbents. The whole industry of the world has been built around harnessing the power of the sun through fossil fuels. And no matter what Tesla is trying to do, it will have to deal with the opposition of oil producers, armies that protect oil assets. I mean, you can list the number of people, the oil industry. There is opposition here. And I just want to mention one little anecdote from this week. Bob Lutz, former president of GM, went on CNBC, and fortunately for us, unfortunately for him, he seems to have not, let's say it more mildly, his sharpness is not as pronounced as maybe it used to be in the past. So he said a few things which I thought were very interesting. He said Elon Musk escaped bankruptcy after the SEC went after him. Oh, well, I wasn't aware of the fact that Elon Musk tweeting something about funding secured was a cause for bankruptcy. Well, it turns out that probably what Lutz was saying is that behind the scenes, there must have been pressure on the SEC to use that as a pretext to bring Tesla down. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't be surprised. What I'm trying to say is that you see these people, these whoever they are not about, oh, how can we compete with Tesla? They are at this point, how can we kill Tesla? And this is a serious threat. We cannot underestimate this threat. Nikola Tesla himself went down because of that exact problem, because he couldn't fight the powers that had other ideas in terms of using energy and harnessing the energy of the earth for business purposes. So we just want to be aware of that. We are obviously in a position now as shareholders, owners, and customers of Tesla, much more comfortable that we can sustain this pressure, but we should always be aware that this pressure is there. So this is one of the risks. The other risk is, of course, technology risk. No matter how good the engineers are, they might find road bumps on the road to harnessing the power of the sun that they can't solve. We're pretty confident that that's not going to happen, because this is like this is the mother of all Manhattan projects here. Forget nuclear power. If we can harness the power of the sun directly through intelligent technologies that fuel transportation, fuel factories, fuel homes, we are just it's a step function towards a better world. And I think that the engineering power that Tesla is able to amass right now is enough to get there. We feel customer acceptance is not that much of a risk, because we're already seeing evidence that that is not an issue at all. So to finish this episode, I want to conclude that the three vectors that Tesla is riding on, AI, harnessing the power of the sun, and the machine that builds the machine, are the main driver for value creation. This episode was about harnessing the power of the sun, and more specifically explaining why we think that this is a good idea, why we think Tesla is in the process of executing, and that there's a high probability of success and value creation. Thank you.